Wow, do we have something for you today? Today we're going to show you how to do something that very few people in the world know how to do, and to our knowledge, nobody has shared publicly yet. Yep, today we're going to be showing you how to rank in Google's brand new AI search engine, SGE. This thing's not even out yet, and already at Exposure Ninja, we figured out how to rank for it. I'm going to be showing you exactly what to do, taking you behind the scenes of some case studies that we've run before and after getting ranking in SGE, and also explain some of the lessons and tweaks that we've learned along the way. Then at the end, I'm going to show the process that you can use to identify pages that you might want to optimize for SGE and explain exactly how to do it. This is massive. SGE is the biggest change in SEO in the decade plus that I've been doing it. We figured it out. We're sharing everything that we've learned. Let's freaking go. Okay, first up, I'm going to explain a bit about what SGE is. So if you already know this, feel free to click the timestamp on the screen to go straight to the ranking factors. Still here? Okay, great. What is SGE? SGE stands for Search Generative Experience, and it's a new AI-powered search feature that Google has been testing this year. Currently, it's not released to the public yet, but you can get access to it through Google's Search Labs. This allows you to experiment with it and play with it. But a couple of things to be aware of. Firstly, this is only available in some countries like the US, so you might need to use a US VPN in order to get access to Search Labs and SGE. Secondly, at the time of recording this, you can only access SGE on desktop and when you're using a Google browser like Chrome. But here's what it looks like. I've just done a Google search for best massages for back pain, and I've got this big information panel at the top. This is produced by Google's large language model. It's generative AI. We can see information here. We can see some website links. We can see a bit of a picture. We can see some follow-up questions I can ask SGE in order to have a conversation with it. Then underneath all of that, we've got the regular search results. So we've got the sponsored product listing ads, and then we've got the regular organic search results. Now, obviously you can see why this is so important. SGE is taking up so much space at the top of the page. If you're not ranking in one of these spots, how much traffic are you going to get when this thing rolls out? Now, SGE isn't available for every search. So as you're playing with it, you'll tend to find that it shows up for searches like what is, how are, how do I, why does, those types of question searches. It also shows up increasingly for product-focused searches like best massages for back pain. There's also a local version as well. So I've just searched for massage New York, and this generative AI panel is pulling Google local listings too. Figuring out how to get your business, your products, and your services recommended in SGE is going to be absolutely key if Google rolls this out. And you might think that, oh, well, I already rank pretty well because we've been doing lots of SEO, so I'm going to have some nice SGE visibility too. Not so fast. Just because you're ranking well in the regular organic results doesn't mean that you're going to be ranking in SGE. But far from SGE being a threat, we've actually found that there are 4 ways that you can win with SGE. Let's take a look at this search result as an example. The first way to win, and the most obvious, is these links here. This is what we're calling the carousel links. Now, there are 3 links that are open by default, and if you scroll to the side, you can see more links to other websites. Obviously, you want to get your website ranked in these spots, and ideally in the first 3 positions, because some people in our testing don't even realize that positions 4+ even exist. So that's way to win number 1. The second way to win is underneath each of the statements in the SGE answer, you'll notice a little drop down arrow here. If you click that, you'll see websites that tend to back up the information in that statement. Obviously, you want to get your website listed here as well. So that's way to win number 2. For some searches, you'll notice SGE actually recommends particular products or businesses. For example, best massages for back pain, I've got 10 products being recommended to me. Obviously, you want to get your product recommended here. That's way to win number 3. Way to win number 4 is a little bit more advanced. Let's take a look at this search. I've searched for what is CAS accreditation. And by the way, a little bit of context. CAS accreditation is a construction industry accreditation that large organizations can use to make sure the construction firms they hire are legit and tick all the right boxes. Now, we've got a client in this space, Chas. We've got them ranking position number 2 in the SGE results. We've also got them the featured snippet in the regular organic results. But what's happened is over the years, we've produced so much information about CAS accreditation for Chas that Google seems to be combining those two entities. And actually, if you have a look at the follow-up questions that SGE is suggesting, 2 out of the 3 of them reference CHAS. Still following? For example, what does CHAS stand for? This is a branded search, i.e. Google is suggesting a branded search from an informational search. Even more interesting, CHAS accreditation. CHAS is an accreditation provided by our client. So Google is suggesting an alternative product which is delivered by our client. So that's way to win number 4, basically to have SGE recommend your business as an alternative or a follow-up question. But by far the most hard-fought position in SGE is going to be ranking in this space here. So how do you do it? Should we tell them, Nobi? Okay, step 1, you need to make sure that you're building from a strong base, i.e. that your page is already ranking reasonably well in the organic search results, the regular Google search results. So for example, our client here is CHAS, they are ranking in the featured snippet. Now, ranking in the featured snippet doesn't guarantee you SGE results at all. In fact, in our test, we've seen plenty of websites that have featured snippet position but aren't in SGE rankings at all. Nevertheless, ranking well does help. You don't need to have the featured snippet, you don't even need to be the first few positions, but we found that it's much easier to rank in SGE if a page is already ranking in the first, say, 10 to 20 results on Google. How do you do that? Well, all of the SEO advice that we regularly give you on this channel. Things like building high authority backlinks to the content on your website, making sure that content is really detailed and authoritative and shares your first-hand experience, making sure that users have a great time on your site, that load speed is good, people spend time on your site navigating between different pages, all that good stuff. The basics of SEO. Okay, so you're working from a good base, you've got your page ranking on, say, the first page of Google, but you just need to get it into SGE. What do you need to do next? Well, what we've noticed is that SGE tends to favor very precisely targeted content. Let's go back to this back massager search. You'll notice that all of the sites being linked are specifically about back massages. These aren't the best massages to relieve pain. These aren't the best solutions to back pain. These are the best massages for back pain. And that seems to be fairly typical across SGE ranking pages. They're exactly targeted to the topic. In some cases, we've been able to SGE rank very short but very targeted blog posts that exactly match the topic. We're calling these exact match blogs, or EMBs. And these have outranked much higher authority, more general information pages. So SGE seems to favor exact match over high authority but more generic information. This may change, but right now that seems to be the situation. For the next set of ranking factors, it might help if I take you through a case study and show you exactly what we did. If you run a Google search for sponsored tag, Exposure Ninja was not ranking anywhere in the SGE panel. We weren't ranking in the carousel and we weren't being featured in any of the article links either. This was really frustrating because we had position 1 in the regular organic search results. We were dismayed. Now, if you click on any of the links in the SGE carousel, you'll notice that the URLs have a hash, and this hash refers to the particular part of the text that SGE is referencing. You'll also notice that when you click on the link, you go directly to the section on the page with that paragraph, and it's highlighted for you. So in this example, this is the paragraph that SGE is using to corroborate the information in its answer. Same thing on this page here. Now, the ninjas and I noticed a couple of things about these paragraphs. Firstly, they tended to be quite short. They tended to be written in very plain language, so using simple sentence structures rather than complex, long, wordy ones. SGE also seems to favor paragraphs that summarize the entire topic very neatly. And of course, the information in those paragraphs tends to reflect the information that's in the SGE answer. So what did we do? Well, we reverse engineered these paragraphs and added a section at the top of our blog post which summarized the answer that the generative AI was giving in very plain language, very short, simple sentences with high readability. We then resubmitted this page through Google Search Console and waited. Within about 12 hours, our page was ranking position 1 in SGE. Yeah! But maybe it was a fluke. So this time we tried again, targeting another phrase, Shein marketing strategy. Now we have a page on the website about Shein's marketing strategy from a deep dive that we've done, by the way, link in the description. But we weren't ranking in the SGE results at all. The page was ranking reasonably well, sort of middle of page 1 on Google's regular organic results, but without that SGE ranking, we just could not sleep at night. So what did we do? Well, when we reviewed the Shein marketing strategy blog post, it was written in a fairly typical blog post type way. A bit of introduction to Shein's business, a bit of history about how they've grown, and a bit of information about each of the different components of their marketing strategy. Very logical, very step by step. But that's not what SGE wants. SGE wants bite-sized snippets. So we added a bite-sized snippet at the top of the page summarizing Shein's marketing strategy and giving our take on what some of the key components were. We made sure that this short summary at the top also referenced some of the points made in the generative AI answer. We submitted via Google and boom, position 1. And we've also started doing this for clients. For example, here, getting our client Golf Course Lawn ranked in position 1 for SGE, having not been ranked at all in the SGE panel. Here again. And here again. We've done this time and time again. For example here, what is a page title? In this search, Exposure Ninja wasn't ranking anywhere in the SGE answer. We were ranking position 8 in the organics, but nowhere in the SGE, meaning this search is a bit of a loser for us. Well, after making the changes and following this exact process, we were ranking position 1 in the carousel and throughout the entire SGE answer. By the way, this technique also improves your ranking in Bing Chat, which is Bing's version of SGE using ChatGPT. After making this change, we found that our website was being referenced in 6 out of the 7 links in Bing Chat. Now, in a minute, I'm going to take you through a process that you can use to find pages on your website to target SGE search. But first, let's have an honest conversation about your SEO strategy. Have you figured out SGE? If you're working with an agency, do they have an SGE roadmap for you? This is the biggest change in search that I've seen in the decade plus that I've been doing SEO. And at a recent marketing conference, we asked 200 people how many of them had heard of SGE. Bear in mind, this room was full of agencies, full of marketing managers, in-house marketers, CMOs. Guess how many people said they'd even heard of SGE? 2? No. Maybe 10%? 20? Nope. All right, maybe 5%? 10? Nope. All right, maybe 1%? 2? Nope. One person in that room of 200 had even heard of SGE. We spent the rest of the day talking to businesses who were saying, our SEO company hasn't even told us about these things. You've already figured it out. So let me ask you a question. Do you think you should be working with an agency that is right on top of the latest changes in SEO and has figured out these things before they're even live? Or do you think you should be working with one of the agencies that's watching these videos and taking the information secondhand and applying it to their clients? Or worse, one of the agencies that's not watching these videos and doesn't even know what's going on. Yeah, I thought so. If you want to request a free website and marketing review from the team here at Exposure Ninja, just go to exposureninja.com/review. We'll give you an honest appraisal of your digital marketing situation, including your SEO. We'll then map out a prioritized action plan for you to follow over the next 6 to 12 months. If we think we might be able to help you get an increase in your traffic and leads through search, including through SGE, then we'll let you know and we can put a plan together for you. There's no obligation to do that as you request your free website and marketing review. But if you are interested in becoming a client of Exposure Ninja so that we can apply the most cutting edge SEO to your website, then this is the first step to take. So go to exposureninja.com/review today. All right, let's make a plan to get this stuff implemented on your website. So the first thing I would do is head over to a tool like SEMrush, which by the way, you can get a free trial of at thankyouninjas.com. So I've just stuck in my website here. Now this isn't my website. I have no affiliation with this website. I've just chosen it at random. But I've stuck this site in and I'm looking for pages that I might be able to optimize for SGE. Now this is a US-based legal site, so I've checked the US box. And if we scroll down here, we can see the top organic keywords. So these are the search terms that this site is already ranking for. Now from this report, I can see they're ranking for their brand name, which is good, you would hope so. They're also ranking for a bunch of Dr. Dre divorce phrases, which they wrote a blog about a while ago, which seems to be driving them a lot of traffic. I'm not massively interested in that stuff, so I'm just going to do a bit of a filter to take out firstly their brand name and then anything related to Dr. Dre. What I then want to do is find the phrases that this site has pages ranking for on maybe the first 20 positions on Google. So I'm just going to click on position here and I'm going to order from lowest to highest. Now I can see we've got this term here, no fault divorce in New Jersey. Now, whilst SEMrush is categorizing this as informational, I actually think there's a bit of commercial intent here as well. I think if you're ranking prominently for this, you could pick up some business from this term. So what I'm going to do is head over to Google and see if this search term is triggering an SGE answer. If it is, I want to see, is my website ranking in that SGE answer? And yes, this search term is triggering an SGE answer. No fault divorce, New Jersey. Where's the website ranking? Well, it's ranking in position 5 in the regular organics, but it's not ranking in the first 3 positions in the carousel, or in fact, in the carousel at all. This is a page that we would like to target for SGE. So the first thing that we're going to do is have a look at the page itself and see if it's the sort of thing that we think in its current state is going to rank. What we're usually looking for is an exact match between the intent and the information in the answer and the intent and the information on the page. What we notice is the page that's ranking actually has a slightly different topic. Can divorces avoid the question, whose fault is it? Well, actually, someone was searching for no fault divorce New Jersey, meaning they might be looking for the rules around no fault divorce in New Jersey, or they might be looking for a lawyer to help them with that process. So the first thing I would say is that this page doesn't necessarily match the intent. I might be creating a new page, something like a guide to no fault divorces in New Jersey. The next thing I'm doing is I'm clicking on the links here of the sites that are being referenced in the SGE answer. And really what I want to see is what's the quality of the information that's being referenced. So here we've got a paragraph on equitable distribution in New Jersey. This isn't at the top of the page, so I actually think I could beat this with optimization by putting this information at the top of the page. And it's also a little bit more detailed than the SGE answer. So again, I might be trying to simplify this information in the new content that I'm writing, the paragraph at the top of that. Now on this Investopedia link, there actually isn't a linked paragraph at all, which again shows me that maybe SGE is struggling to find relevant information, because it's relatively rare that you'll find a link where actually none of the information on that page is specifically cited. On this third link, we've got this paragraph being highlighted, which is all about whether or not New Jersey is a no-fault divorce state. And it gives an answer and a bit of an overview. So what would I include on my brand new page? Well, the first thing I would do is I'd make sure that I'm covering the information in the first sentence of this SGE answer. If I can get my website linked as a corroborating source for this paragraph, I increase my chances of showing in the first 3 pages here. Not always, but a lot of the time we've found that websites which are linked to in the first part of the SGE answer tend to take up the first 3 positions. Now, it's not always the case, and in this case it's not, but a lot of the time we've found that the websites which are linked in the first part of the SGE answer tend to take up the first few positions in the carousel. So I'm going to make sure that my information corroborates the fact that New Jersey is a no-fault divorce state and what that really means. The next thing I'm going to do is make sure that my opening paragraphs basically summarize all of these topics, as well as adding in any specific information or experience that I might have. Now, I'm not too worried about making this article really long and detailed, because some of the content that's ranking in SGE isn't really long and detailed. All I really want to do is answer the searcher's question. So in this case, I might summarize the fact that New Jersey is a no-fault state. I'm going to outline what the process and what the steps are, and I'm going to give people an idea of the next steps to take, which is going to be to contact my firm in order to start the process or have a consultation. The other piece of this puzzle that's really important is submitting your website changes through Google Search Console. All you'll want to do here is open up Search Console, stick in the URL that you've updated with your new paragraph, and hit submit. Now you should see that the URL is already on Google. What you want to do then is click request indexing. A minute or 2, come on. And that will submit your request for re-indexing. That's really important. We've made changes to pages and haven't submitted them for re-indexing, and we've seen no progress in SGE. But once you submit for re-indexing, usually you'll see some movement in SGE within about 12 hours. If it's going to rank, it will do it in the first 12 to 24 hours. And that's as simple as it is. That's how to rank on SGE today. Of course, Google may change SGE. The whole thing might be completely different by the time Google pushes it live to the general unwashed masses. Google's Gemini model, which has now been delayed, may also change SGE or may change how it works. Google may change how SGE sources the links that support the information it gives. But as of today, this is how you rank in SGE. How freaking sick is that? Now, before we go, I just want to share a couple of final thoughts on Google SGE. Google's official stance is that SGE writes its own answer, and the websites that are linked are corroborating or support that answer. i.e. Google implies that it's not taking the information from those websites and just sharing it in SGE. But in my tests, that is categorically not what is happening. In my tests, Google is scraping information from the linked websites and posting it without proper citation. Take a look at this SGE answer for what's the smallest car in the world. Almost every sentence of this answer is taken directly from different websites that are being linked in SGE. And these links aren't being shared as sources or citations. Remember, Google's stance is that these are just simply websites that corroborate or support the answer. This may seem like a small thing, but I don't think it is. Ad-supported websites and publishers are going to be furious that Google is potentially scraping content from their sites and publishing it without proper attribution, and in some cases without even sending people through to the underlying website to monetize through ads. If SGE coincides with a precipitous drop in traffic, Google is going to be spending a huge amount in legal fees defending this tool. Anyway, rant over. That's how you rank in SGE. It's simple. It's not easy because it's not necessarily easy to get ranking on Google in the first place in order to be eligible for SGE ranking. But it is simple because you just follow the process that I've outlined. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to request your free website and marketing review from the team here at Exposure Ninja, and leave us a comment. Are you going to be trying to rank your website for SGE? Also, let us know how those tests go. I'm really excited to hear about the rankings that you managed to pick up by using this until now totally unshared method. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.